Let's continue exploring the universe within art and the art behind picking a world seed. I'm your host, Omledu. And to celebrate the 1.21 update, I have gone through and found a ton of different seeds that have world spawns near a Mooshroom island. Then I went through and picked out the best seeds to show to you. All of these seeds will have a stronghold, a swamp, a badlands, a jungle, all within 2,000 blocks of spawn. And just in case you didn't know, the game will not let you spawn directly on a Mooshroom island, so the best we can do is get as close as we possibly can. And if you don't find a seed in this video that you like, you can always check out my older videos. The 1.19 and 1.20 seeds will all work in 1.21. The only time they have ever dramatically changed seed generation is in 1.18. So anything past 1.18, all of the seeds will work on Bedrock and in Java. They are all the same, just structures will be in slightly different places, and they will have all of the new stuff as well. And this will not break in the near future. I highly doubt that they will change the way that seed generation works anytime soon. But if for some reason they do, I will leave a pinned comment to let you know. So if you don't generate the same world, I guarantee that it's not actually broken. Just double check that you typed in the number correctly. These numbers are really long and easy to mess up. And we'll start off with the seeds that are the closest to spawn. So this one is really cool. It has several witch huts really close to spawn, as well as a pillager outpost, and the stronghold isn't too far away either. And best of all, you should be able to see the Mushroom Island when you spawn in, depending on what your render distance is. But this seed is really cool. You start off really close to a swamp, so since Mojang absolutely decimated villagers, it's always nice to be able to get mending as soon as possible. The pillager outpost is within viewing distance as well. The island is near -200, -200, and it's a really good size, especially for really big servers or realms, for a gaming district or a shopping district, or even for a big solo project where you just don't want to be harassed by mobs. And of course, all of these seeds will have tons of ocean monuments all over the place. Since Mushroom Islands only spawn in the ocean, odds are that there are going to be ocean monuments everywhere. The second seed has a little bit more ocean, but it has a cluster of multiple medium to large size islands with a stronghold nearby as well. And yet again, when you spawn in, you should be able to see the Mushroom Island from spawn, depending on how high your render distance is. Looking around, we see a ton of different types of trees, so that's always good. That looks like a jungle off in the distance. We see a village as well. Now, I didn't prioritize villages at all because they tend to spawn all over the place, and you can always artificially make villagers, just by curing zombies, but it's nice to have a village really close to spawn to get your initial villagers. Same way with the brand new trial chambers, they just spawn all over the place. At first I was going to show them on the map, but if I do, it's just like one solid icon. So just know that there are trial chambers all over the place in all of the 1.21 stuff. The last Mushroom Island is next to a coral reef, so that's always cool, and this island has these trees poking up, which means that there is a lush cave underneath it. That is super duper fancy. I love lush caves. Our third seed has a pretty large island really close to spawn, as well as a nice medium-sized island a little bit farther away from that. The stronghold is a little far away. It's around 1500 in the Badlands, but when you spawn in, you will be able to see the Mushroom Island yet again. Now, there isn't anything too terribly special near spawn. There might be a village or something like that tucked away here. We do have a decent amount of tree diversity though, so that's always good. And I like some of the terrain as well. Some of those hilly mountains look really nice. Now let's go check out the Mushroom Island. But really quick, if you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, please don't forget to like, favorite, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Even if you don't know what to say, just tell me hi. All of that stuff makes me super duper happy, and I can't keep making these videos without your support. I really try to be as helpful as I possibly can. I want you to find a seed that you absolutely love, so I spend a lot of time sorting through the seeds, trying to pick the best ones. But as for our fourth seed, the islands are a little bit smaller, but there's a bunch of them clustered up together, so that's kind of neat. Plus the ocean itself is a little bit smaller as well. Spawning in, we are drowning! Oh no! But we can see the Mushroom Island from spawn, so that's always nice. And I see a bunch of sand, as well as an ocean monument really close by, and a savanna. So it's always nice to have deserts nearby to get tons and tons of sand. And there is a humongous coral reef. That is really super duper cool. I always struggle sometimes to find coral reefs to get coral fans and stuff like that, so it's always nice to have one of those at spawn. Plus, you might be able to get sniffer eggs and all of that good stuff. It looks like there's also azalea trees on here as well, meaning that there are lush caves under the ground. So that's always super cool. Let's poke our head down here and see what the lush cave looks like. And rather than a nice, dry, lush cave, we have a bunch of flooded tunnels. You know, that isn't as optimal as it may be. Now, there may be a hollow, dry, lush cave really close by on the other side of one of these walls or a little farther under the ground, but for now, it just looks like a lot of these cave systems are flooded. We do see some moss, so there definitely is a lush cave somewhere, but we can't find it, so let's move on to the next seed. If you want a gigantic swamp and an absolutely massive badlands, then this seed is perfect for you. There isn't much ocean at all, and most of it is warm ocean, so you should be able to find sniffer eggs and stuff like that. Spawning in, we're kind of in this little cave type thing surrounded in sand. We spawn directly in the middle of a desert. Again, we can see the Mushroom Island from spawn, as well as a village, so that's always cool. We see a humongous coral reef, that's always a plus. Some crazy mountain structures off in the distance. I really love it when the mountains spawn all crazy like that. We see a jungle right here as well, so this is fantastic. You know, there is a massive swamp nearby, there's a jungle at spawn, there's a badlands somewhere close by that it's like massive, just like the biggest badlands I have ever seen. The island itself is a pretty decent size as well. You know, all in all, I really like this seed. You know, having sand nearby is always a plus to get all the glass that I ever need for all of my projects. Unlike the last seed, this next one is a winter wonderland. Now the badlands and the swamp are kind of far away and slightly small, but the Mushroom Island itself is absolutely massive. Spawning in, we see that we're on sand because we're technically on a beach, but there is a frozen ocean as far as the eye can see. We can see the Mushroom Island from spawn, and if we turn around, we can see a little bit of land and some trees, as well as a village. And I can't really tell, but that definitely looks like a boat. I love it whenever the boats spawn on land. That is super duper cool seeing a shipwreck on the ground. The tree diversity is actually really good, especially for a snowy start, and we can just walk to the Mushroom Island, or use a boat to fast travel on ice. That's one thing I do really like about the frozen Mushroom Islands, is that you don't have to worry about swimming or dealing with water. You know, the ice is just there for you to ride or walk across. And we have another winter wonderland, but this one doesn't have any badlands, but I included it anyway because the swamps are so big, the Mushroom Island is absolutely gigantic, and the ocean is really small. We spawn in on a frozen river, which I find really cool. I don't see frozen rivers all that often, so that really makes me happy to see. And we have tons and tons of spruce. We can see the Mushroom Island off in the distance if we fly up a bit, and it just looks like we have spruce trees as far as the eye can see. We do have a village over there, a bunch of empty land for some nice snowy builds, and just tons and tons of spruce trees everywhere. But if we follow the frozen river out to the ocean, we will come across one of the largest mushroom islands in this video. Now I know that bigger is not always better, but personally I can never pass up an opportunity to show off an absolutely humongous mushroom island. They are definitely my favorite. And we have yet another winter wonderland, but this one does have a badlands, so that's good. It also has gigantic swamps that are a little far away, but the stronghold is super duper close to spawn. Best of all, we have a couple of chickens to greet us. Flying up a bit, we can see the Mushroom Islands off in the distance, just past the ice, and if we turn around to check out the rest of spawn, we will see that there are lush caves right underneath spawn. Now I know that lush caves are fairly common, but I do always like having them close by and easy access, so that I can get the azalea trees and the moss and stuff like that. We also do have a village off in the distance there, and tons of ice for any of our ice roads for our nether transportation and stuff like that. Over at the island, we have a couple of small islands for personal use or for individual projects, and the main island is a pretty good size, and it looks like there are lush caves underneath it as well. You know, and this is a really good size island for a shopping district or a gaming district, plus it's always nice to have a few more islands nearby for individual projects or personal use. This next seed spawns you in a swamp with 2 witch huts and a pillager outpost, so that's really cool. The ocean is a little big, and the strongholds are kind of far away, but at least there's a bunch of them. Now this is the first seed where we can't actually see the Mushroom Island when we spawn in, so that is a little sad, but it makes up for it by spawning us in a swamp with 2 witch huts and a pillager outpost. One of the witch huts is over there, then the pillager outpost is way over there, and especially with Mojang absolutely killing villagers, it's really nice to have a swamp nearby so that you can get the only useful one now, which is mending. If you can't tell, I'm really salty at Mojang at the moment, not only for absolutely decimating villagers and making them fairly useless, but also for nerfing mob farms and raid farms and everything else. They just love to take away our toys without giving us anything new to play with. You know, but I won't rant about Mojang. Let me know in the comments if you actually agree with their decisions or not. Do you agree with me that they should stop taking away our toys, or do you agree with Mojang? And if you do, let me know why. Maybe you can change my opinion and ease my saltiness a bit. But anyway, this one has a ton of different islands, which is really, really cool, and one of them is a really good size for a shopping district. This next seed is another Badlands spawn. I really like the Badlands spawns for the sand and the terracotta, plus there's a warm ocean nearby, and the strongholds are really close by to spawn as well. Dropping in, we are greeted by a coral reef, which is always exciting. I love having coral fans and coral right off the bat, so I don't have to go looking for it, because sometimes it can take me forever just to find one. We also see sand, sand, sand everywhere, which is a huge plus for me. I love having sand nearby because I use tons and tons of glass. Having the terracotta and the Badlands nearby is also really cool, so we can get, lots of early gold from mining, or terracotta for building material, and if we fly over the coral reef, we can see the Mushroom Island pretty quickly. But first, this natural formation right here is really cool to me. This little circular mountain with a river around it is just really, really cool. I want to build on that thing. And the island is a really good size as well. This is perfect for a shopping district, gaming district, or some sort of communal area. And let me know in the comments what size of island you actually prefer. Do you like them big or do you like them small? Our next to last seed has a massive Badlands with some swamp mixed in, some teeny tiny islands off to the southwest, which is really cool, and a pillager outpost and a witch hut nearby. Spawning into the world, we are greeted by some really funky mountains. I absolutely love funky mountains. It even looks like one of them is floating, so that's so super cool. The tree diversity is also really, really fantastic. Right at spawn, I see 5 different types of trees, including the pink petal ones. So that's really, really cool. Getting cherry blossoms right off the bat is absolutely amazing. Now we can't actually see the Mushroom Island from spawn, but if we fly over the ocean a bit toward these pink petals, we will quickly see the Mushroom Island. And it's in a coral reef, which is really, really fantastic. Now this one is a kind of medium size, so maybe this is better for a solo world or a personal project, but there's a couple of smaller ones as well that can be fun to play around with. And now for our very last seed. Now even though the Mushroom Island is fairly far away, I love this seed. There are witch huts nearby, the stronghold is super close, the Badlands is really big, the ocean is kind of thin, the biome diversity and the tree diversity of spawn is absolutely fantastic. We have 5 or 6 different types of trees right here at spawn. We have lots of dark oak to harvest. We have some pink petals right there. We even have a flower field right next to a mountain right at spawn. The terrain is just really, really fancy. The biome diversity is really nice. The tree diversity, all of that stuff. And there's a couple of tiny mushroom islands right over there, right across the mountains in that little ocean area right there. But the big island is over past these cherry blossoms. So if we fly over the village and the cherry blossoms, we come to a jungle, further showing how good the biome diversity is. Then we come to this large mushroom island in a coral reef. Yet again, the biome diversity is fantastic. And this mushroom island is huge. And it's right next to the Badlands as well. So all in all, this is one of my favorite seeds, even though the mushroom island is kind of far away from spawn. I really, really enjoyed this seed. And if you made it to the end of the video, leave me a comment and let me know what your favorite seed was. I would love to know what you're actually looking for when it comes to picking a world seed. And are you looking for a seed for a solo world or for a server? I'm really curious as to which ones were your favorite, what you're looking for, and what you do with them. But all in all, I really hope that you found a seed that you enjoy, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world to me, and it makes me super duper happy. As always, if you have any critiques, questions, or requests, let me know down in the comments, and I will do my best to help you out. Also, let me know if there's any other type of seed videos that you would be interested in. In the description is a link to my Discord. You can join that Minecraft community to share pictures of your builds, talk to me about redstone, or just share your Minecraft experience. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Until then, I've been your host, Ledu, sharing an awesome seed or two, and reminding you, as always, don't forget to have fun. Bye-bye!